Hi, this is Tina of Via Feng Shui Training and Mentoring. Today I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to prep your floor plan for application of the compass so that we can lay the compass down then and divide it into those 9 sectors really efficiently. This is meant to be a simple process, so follow along here. I'm going to put the steps below in the description of the video. Let me know if you have any questions. I know everybody lives in such a unique plan, and I can't possibly show enough examples to touch everybody's unique situations. So hopefully there's enough variety that you can be creative and adjust it to wherever you're living or wherever you're working. So I'm going to switch over right now, and thanks for tuning in. Okay. So here's just a floor plan that I found on the internet and just printed it off. This is, clearly hand rendered. Of course, your floor plan does not need to be, as indicative of, especially dimensions and some of like the closets and it's all great information. Absolutely, it's great information. But if this is something that you're going to do by hand, maybe you don't have a new floor plan because you didn't move into a new home, or it's something that you have to create on your own. At least put the time and effort into making it proportionate into scale, meaning spend some time, get to know your floor plan, get to know your home, get to know your business, the layout, and walk that off. And even if you're just going to use some graph paper, for each one of your feet, if you're going to heel toe it, each square on a piece of graph paper can measure one of your feet. And so at least mark down the perimeter of your building. This is kind of an odd shape. It's not a perfect square or perfect rectangle. Once you can identify kind of the perimeter, then you can kind of puzzle piece and input the interior rooms. So what I'm saying is once you've got this marked off, you can start over here in this room, measure off the interior, and then mark that down on your grid paper that this is occupying this space, and then move into the next room and do the same thing. So you can kind of puzzle piece it until it all fits together. But we want it to be accurate, because if it's not, and you'll see once you lay the compass down here, if it's not, then our perception is skewed, and we're going to be treating rooms or recognizing rooms to be in specific sectors or directions that they might not actually be in. So the first step, of course, is to get an accurate compass reading. A floor plan drawing, so that it's to scale and is just the best representation of your space, because this is going to be used as a future reference, right? This will be something you'll stick in your Feng Shui folder and refer to this, especially if you get tired of a paint color in your living room and you want to go paint the living room. Gosh, it'll be nice in 5 years to pull this out, identify what sector it's in, look for paint, look for elements and colors that will help support the family or the business in that area. So it's really good to just, make a couple copies of your floor plan. We don't want to be working on the architectural drawings or anything that's permanent, because we make mistakes. We're humans. I make mistakes all the time. I miscalculate, and then I got to start over. And having a page full of erased lines is not the prettiest, and it gets confusing later on, years down the road when we're looking at it. We can't remember which line was which. So make a couple copies so you have some backup. This is just an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and you'll see why that's it's an easy size to work with. All the rooms are very visible. We can get in here and make notes and really just make this efficient for us. So the first step, once we have our floor plan, is we need to locate the geographical center of the space. So we know where the center is, so we know how to align the compass. Well, how do we find the center, especially in kind of an odd-shaped structure like this? So there's a couple things, and there's, of course, depending on the school or the teacher that you learn from, some of this might be controversial. what I'm really asking you to do at this point is to kind of trust your gut, to kind of trust your instincts. A lot of times when I'm in somebody's home, even before pulling out the floor plan, I'll just simply ask them, where does the center of your house? Make them stand up and walk to the center of their house to kind of get a feeling for where they feel it is. A lot of us live in homes where the garage is set over here on the end. And maybe they're not including that garage. That doesn't, feel like the center to them. So wherever the center is for them, that's something to pay attention to. Because if we were to throw them off center by saying, well, you know what, if this garage is drawn over here, actually the center's more over here than over here, is that going to make them then feel off center? Or is that going to help them find their center? Because maybe life is kind of flying off center and feels unbalanced, because they're maybe disconnecting from the true center of the home. So either way, we want to make sure that we're just kind of listening to our client or to ourselves and what feels like the center to them. And don't hesitate to maybe try it a couple different ways. That's why it's good to have two copies, because maybe the center to your client feels like it's here, like it's here to them. But then when you add the garage, we'll just say this garage isn't here, but you add the garage on, now the center is going to move over here. So maybe you do both options and lay them out with the compass and then see how you feel about it. Which one resonates with you or your client better. So this video is a lot for my students, and hopefully anybody else that's coming across this will help them kind of define their space as well. And that's why I keep saying for your clients. So anyway, we're going to use this as an example right now. I've got 3 examples that I want to show you. So this one, typically a Chinese practitioner is going to say anything that lies within the same roof line as the main structure of the house, including a garage, perhaps including a covered patio, like this one back here, we want to include it in the floor plan. We want to include it when we're trying to find that center space. So this garage clearly would be under the same roof line, unless, of course, this is an addition later on, or maybe it's an added carport. But for this sake, let's pretend that all of this is under the same roof line. Well, if we were to square this off here, and I'm just going to use my ruler here, and any kind of a straight edge, the edge of a folder or a book or something, if we were to square this off here, like this, and like this, we are now looking at this space as this is a huge missing sector or energy or aspect of life for the people dwelling in this home. That's, once that kind of gets in your head, that can kind of play some mind games on you. It's like, okay, well, now this area is missing. What if it's your money corner? So now you've got it in your head that this is your money corner. It's missing. Or, this sector back here is missing. I try to bring these missing sectors and make them as small as possible. Try to reduce this space so that it's not feeling like anything's missing. I would rather square a house off like this. Now we've taken out that missing sector. And somebody might say, well, what about this garage here? Well, as long as nobody's living above the garage and it's just a garage and there's nobody like occupying it, there's, it's not an office or a classroom or anything like that, it's okay with me. Now, again, you have to trust your intuition to kind of disconnect that. Yes, it's an opening into your home, but we can see this now as an extension. So it's kind of like a bonus area of whatever sector this is. I like the feeling of having a bonus or an extension of a sector rather than having a huge chunk missing. So when we apply the compass to this, you'll kind of see how that feels. Now this down here, it would be awesome to be able to cut this right through here, but this is part of somebody's living space, right? There's a bathtub, their clothes, their personal belongings are in here. So I don't really want to cut this off here or here. So we're going to have to work with this, with Feng Shui cures and how to, extend this energy out here so it's not a missing component. So here is my squared off plan. This is my choice. This is how I'm choosing to square this one off. And so to find the geographical center, it's really simple. Just take your straight edge from from corner to corner, opposing corners, and just do a little cross in the center. I wouldn't do all the way across, simply because we're going to have other lines from the compass that are going to intersect here, and that's going to get confusing. So here is the geographical center of this floor plan. Now, once you have the geographical center, you need to know your home's facing direction. So whether you stand here and look out in this direction, because this is the facing direction here, or you stand in your front door and look out, you can stand in your garage and look out. You can really stand anywhere as long as your compass is squared and perpendicular to this front plane here with your compass. Now, I don't recommend a compass app on a phone because they're just unreliable. Really, what I'd like you to have is a hiker's compass. This has been a really handy little compass that I have some of my students get. I like to have a compass that has a straight edge so that you can use it to align yourself so you're squared off. And because if you're off just a little bit, that's going to be huge, because where you're standing might be a little bit, but once that line keeps going through the home, it's going to be off. I use my favorite little low pan here to get my compass reading. So you're going to want to get a compass reading. And when I say a compass reading, I don't mean you need to know if your house faces north, south, east, or west, or whatever. I want to know the degrees. So we'll just, for sake for this property, we'll just say it's 124 degrees. Okay, that's the direction this house is facing. So whether you're standing here looking out, standing at the door looking out, or anywhere along this plane looking out, that you are facing 124 degrees. Now, it's probably a good safe bet to possibly get a direction from here, get a direction from here, and maybe get a direction from here. Try maybe 3 directions and find which one feels the best. I'm pretty positive they're all going to be different, just the nature of the compass, the position you might be standing, the environment you might be standing in. If you are using your compass and you can't get this needle to stop and settle down, that means you've got metal around you, whether it's a metal door casing or a metal garage door or metal appliances in the kitchen. Step away from those areas a couple feet so that you can find a spot where that needle's going to settle down. So once you've gotten these 3 different directions, you could find the average, or you could intuitively say, you know what, when I was standing at that front door, that direction really felt right on to me, and that feels good. Then go with it. Trust your intuition. But it's got to feel close, and it's got to feel good. So the next thing that we want to do once we've squared this off, the second step is find the geographical center, is we want to locate the front door, okay? So the front door of this home is right here. Now, if you're a consultant, be careful, and it's important to always know this, where the front door is. Some people, not everybody draws floor plans the same way. I've come across floor plans where the entrance is coming in from the top. Even though all the words are right to me, the entrance is at the top. And so if I'm saying that this is the facing direction and I lay my compass this way, when really I should have flipped it and gone that way, it's going to be way off. So locate the front door. Then the next is, I'm going to just grab a different colored pen here, is I want to draw an alignment line. So starting from the center geographical point of the structure, I want to draw a straight perpendicular line right out the front. And that's my 124 degrees, like I wrote right here. This is going to be the line. It doesn't matter where the front door is because it's all on the same plane, all facing the same direction. This is going to be the line that I'm going to align my compass template to. So once I place the compass template, I'm going to grab place my alignment line. I'm going to grab my compass template, which I have here, and I want to locate the 124 degrees. So 124, this is 127.5 degrees, and this is 112. So it's going to be right around in here. So that's where I'm going to put that alignment line. I'm going to find the center. There's a hole right here in the center. And I'm going to turn this compass template so it's about 124 degrees. See that line there? So if there was a little tick mark right there, 124 degrees would be about right there. And so that's straight out like that. I'm going to hold this in place. Oops, I moved from the center just a bit. I'm going to hold this in place. And now I'm going to take, I recommend a pencil, a colored pencil, especially if you are going to make mistakes if you don't have copies. I like using a color just because it stands out from, the photocopy print. And what's nice about this template is, look how quickly I just divided it into the 9 sectors. That was just as slick as can be. Plus this has the little cutouts. So now I can put in what direction is which. This pen's not fitting in here the best, but it'll be a good start. The southwest over here. And you can see why working with an 8.5 by 11 is really efficient, especially if you're going to use this compass template or guide. So now I'm going to pull this up, and now my space is divided into the 9 sectors. They're all labeled. There's the northwest over here, the west, northeast, east, southeast, and south. And then, of course, the center. That's it. Now it's just a matter of going in and identifying what each one of these sectors means, what's sitting in the sector, and what you're going to do about it. So let's try another floor plan. I believe this is more of, there's not a garage attached to this one here. I'm just going to zoom down a little bit more here. Again, we need to find the center of the space. This is going to be a tough one because we really don't want to cut off any of these areas here. Now, maybe the fireplace we can cut off because it's such a little bump out. I'm going to go just a little bit quicker on this one. We can even maybe cut out that little bay window there, because it's definitely going to create, just that little bump out here. If I were to extend this line out here, that's definitely going to throw the center off a little bit. So now I've scored the property off. I want to find the geographical center. Oops, I just did what I told you not to do, which is draw my line all the way across. Here's the geographical center. Okay, locate the front door. I've taken a compass reading from here, here, and maybe this door over here, just to see and get a vibe. Then I'm going to lay in my alignment line. And I'm going to say this house is 18 degrees. Okay, it's facing. So whether I'm looking this way, or this way, I'm always going to be facing somewhere around that 18-degree mark. So then I'm going to grab my compass, find 18 degrees. Just if you can see here, here's 7.5 degrees and here's 22.5. So 18 is going to probably be right around in here. So I'm going to find the center, align the center hole on my compass guide with the center point, and I'm going to spin this so that this line is about the 18-degree mark. If it was to extend all the way out, hold it in place. And there's my 9 sectors. Again, easy to label with this little guide here. See how slick that is? Here's the south, the southwest, the west, northwest, north, northeast, east, and southeast. And then, of course, the center. If you want to take the center and connect these lines here, that helps you kind of see. Because, you know, ideally, we want every room to have as much equal weight as we can. And so that center, it's not just right there. It's a big portion as well of the home. So I'm going to give you one more example before I get off here. Now, this is an office space. So what if you know, you were working in a corporate environment or in an office and you didn't have the ability to feng shui the whole place, or you were sharing an apartment with some friends and you didn't have the ability to feng shui the whole place, but you could at least do your space. So what if this was your room right here? I highly suggest that you get a floor plan of the whole space, the whole office, the whole floor, the whole apartment, the whole basement, whatever you're occupying, and apply the compass just like we did, you know, finding that center point, creating that alignment line, and dividing this space into these 9 sectors so that you can see what sector your room or your office is occupying in the space. Look, if I lay it down like this person, their office is sitting in the career and life path sector. It's sitting in the north with water energy. So on the bigger picture, this is what you occupy. And so the rest of the office is their career and life path is going to determine a lot on what you're doing in this space, right? Because if somebody were to come and feng shui this whole space, they would want to get in here and do that too. But we can also do it on a smaller scale, is we can locate the geographical center. Now, I didn't make this as big as, you know, it would be ideal if this fits one page and then your office is blown up to fit another page. But we would want to find the geographical center here. And this can be done on your master bedroom. It can be done on your home office. It could be done in your mother-in-law's suite downstairs or whatever. Then what you'll want to do is you can take this compass, like I said, I wish this was bigger, and draw the sectors out as long as you know how to line the alignment line. So if you're standing here and you're looking out, or you're standing here looking out to get your compass reading, say it's 15 degrees or whatever, that would be your alignment line. So you would rotate your compass, you know, so that 15 degrees here is what would be aligned here. And then you would lay this down. Hopefully that makes sense there. But you can divide any space up. You can divide all these rooms up. This, you know, apply the compass to this room, apply the compass to this waiting room, however you want to do it, or workroom, to divide the space up. And you can do them separately, blow them up on separate pages. So then once you've got your space divided into these amazing 9 sectors, you really get to take a look at the deeper levels of, you know, what the space is meaning for you. But this is just a walkthrough on making sure that you've got a floor plan that is understandable. The rooms are labeled. I like it when, the plumbing is indicated, that the windows and the doors are showing, and also bed position. Is the bed sitting here? Where's the bed over here? Is the bed over here? Is it crammed up against the wall over here? I want to know, or maybe this is an office and somebody's got their office desk sitting like this. This is all good indicators of what's happening in the space, and will give you some ideas on what we need to do it. Gosh, there's nothing better than being like an eagle or a hawk and flying really high and getting that bird's eye view and getting this kind of unique perspective. These are the 9 major aspects of our life, right? Whether it's our children, our relationships, and our commitments with our partner, our fame and reputation, our wealth corner, self-worth, our family and ancestors, past, present, future, the northeast corner of self-cultivation, our life path and our career, our spiritual journey and helpful people, the health of our home. This area that you live in is reflecting how these areas of your life are functioning or not functioning. So this is a key tool for a practitioner, for a client, for a student, for anybody who wants to make some real life changes to their life, their family, their business, as well as their home. So I hope this helps. Leave a comment in the comments below, and like I said, I'll list these steps out for you. And gosh, just have a lovely day wherever you are. Thanks. Bye.